This is Mr. Evan. Mr. Evan is a veteran. That means that he served in the military. He's going to talk to you about his experience in the military and his experience afterward as a veteran.
Hi, my name's Evan Michael Frisella, and I was in the U.S. Air Force for 6 years. I joined in July of 2003. That's when I actually shipped out. I signed up when I was 18, around February that year, as soon as I could, basically.
How did you let your loved ones know you were joining the military?
My family knew I was doing this ahead of time. I've been talking about it for a while. I wanted to go to college, but I didn't have any plans or money to do that. And I didn't have a lot of people around me that paved the way or showed me the way of how it would be possible without going to the military.
Why did you decide to join the military?
Some other reasons I went to the military um, were, family serving. My dad and my grandpa served. Another reason I joined was it was 2 years after 9/11, so I felt very patriotic about it. I didn't necessarily agree with where we were going to in Baghdad and other places in Iraq. So I felt patriotic, but I didn't know where they were going to send me.
How did you imagine military life before you joined?
Before I joined military life, I thought it would be like the movies and TV shows, like laughs, kind of a Top Gun feel. You can ask your parents about that. Very glitz and glamour, and lots of partying and fame, maybe.
How did your perceptions change after serving?
When I got in, I found that it was a very challenging environment. They wanted you, they wanted to see how perfect you could perform a task with the most amount of stress possible, and then perform it over and over again with more stress added. A few things that I noticed when I was there were the amount of bombs that we were delivering to countries that I knew nothing about at the time. I had no idea of the intricacies of the diplomatic relations or the relations of these countries or the people in these countries and how they felt about possible regimes in their country or us invading their country. We just did as ordered, which isn't a good excuse ever. You should always question what you're being told to do if it doesn't feel right to you.
Where did you serve?
I served for about a year in San Antonio, Texas. I was the other 5 years I was in Arkansas, Little Rock, Arkansas. I did deploy for 6 months to Qatar, which is a little peninsula off the eastern coast of Saudi Arabia. And then I also spent 6 months in Baghdad, Iraq.
What are the things you remember most about your deployment?
From my deployment to Qatar, the things I remember the most were going to Doha, downtown. We got to go in civilian clothes and feeling like a stranger in a strange land, feeling an alien or abnormality in a society that is not used to seeing people dressed as we were or having the same haircuts as we did and different skin color than most of the people that lived there. So feeling like that gave me a broader sense of how others might feel if they're in a situation where they are not the majority or they are the minority, and how we should feel welcoming to those people so that they don't feel the way I felt then or how people feel possibly in around me. So it really gave me a perception of what really is foreign because it's just based on where you live. When I was in Iraq or Iraq, I remember being shot at or hearing gunshots, and we had been mortared a couple times. I also remember that it was very hard to sleep because it was so loud. We were right next to the flight line, and the helicopters were taking off and landing all night long. So some of the times I would just sleep with earplugs in. Um, and we slept in a tent full of, 6 to 8 people. So we would all alert each other if something was happening.
Can you describe how it felt to come back home?
Coming home, I can literally just tell you how it felt. It's like coming home from school or daycare, and your home feels safe and you feel happy. Those were the two emotions that I felt the most coming home.
What was it like when you first got out of the Air Force?
The first few months out of the service were very difficult for me to find another place to live while I was going to college full time and working a part time job just to make a little extra money for myself. My college was free through Illinois and through the GI Bill. And I used college to better myself and learn about the world around me and how we got to where we are now. Um, Instead of trying to get a degree. So I still don't have my associate's degree, but I took so many classes that I used up all my money for college. But I don't think that it was a waste because I am genuinely a better thinking individual for taking the classes that I took. And I feel more cultured and more able to talk to anyone about anything and listen to anyone about anything because of my experience there. So definitely not a waste.
Was there anything or anyone that helped you during your transition from military to civilian life?
I wish there were more programs after you get out of the military so that maybe you have a mentor or a buddy, and maybe there are, and I just never found them. But maybe access to those things would have helped me a little better. Also, a lot of veterans that I've talked to, we don't necessarily use the facilities and amenities that are afforded to veterans because we feel that there's veterans that need it more than us. So we would rather have the people that really need it get the attention than us clog up the system when we can try to work on it some other way. The things that helped me kind of adjust from the military to civilian life again were my friends, my very close friends that I saw every day and really had long conversations with about life in general and existence and how we all should be to each other and can help each other. And that helped me significantly as well as college, like I said.
How do you think your time in the military affected you?
The time in the military affected me deeply. My care for life, all life, ecosystems, history, societies, all improved significantly. I have the belief now that war creates warriors, laws create outlaws. There are better alternatives to these things that we can work on if we just open our hearts and minds to each other.
What did you learn about yourself from your time in the military?
The thing I learned about myself is that my friends got me through it. The ones in the military and the ones that were out of the military. Talking to them when I came home on leave helped me relieve stress. Talking to the ones that I was in there in the military with helped because we were in the same boat. We were away from home and we were trying to keep each other happy and having fun during a very hard time to go through, being in a war situation and being so young. I also found that I can do anything. Anything that I put my mind to and I put 100% of my effort into, I can do. Uh, I was tested so much in the military that now when I'm at regular jobs, or jobs that just aren't in the military that don't have that perfection with the most amount of stress, I find myself bored or not challenged. Uh, it's a good and a bad thing. The last thing I learned from the military is that I only want to do good, no more harm, no violence, no words that are going to hurt anyone. All I want to do is be kind and loving to my fellow creatures, humans, plants, everything in this world. We all need to keep each other safe in order to exist together.
Thank you for speaking with us, Mr. Evan.
Well, I hope I have given you enough to learn about on Veterans Day. It's not always the brightest and happiest places that you see on the commercials or the movies. There are good people there, and that creates good times. But there are good people everywhere. College, working areas, if you just want to go to work, craftsmanship. Uh, you figure it out. Be you, and be you freely.